You got an update on Will Taylor, and it's not necessarily a good one.
Yeah, Will Taylor tore his ACL in the game the other night. This is a two-sport guy that Clemson was looking at kind of to be the next Hunter Renfrow. They were going to move him over to receiver next year. Saw a lot of promise in him as a slot guy and the wide receiver. I mean, very athletic guy. And he is a fantastic baseball player. Probably could have been a first, second round baseball pick in the Major League Baseball draft this year if he wanted to go that route. But he always knew he wanted to come to Clemson, so he fell down. I think he went in the 12th round. But I'm sure Monty Lee was pacing the floor the other night when he saw Taylor go down. This is bad news for his baseball team. But, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Taylor going forward. Does he decide to put all his focus on baseball and not play football now that he's gotten hurt? I'd be a little surprised if that's the route he goes. I expect him to come back and play football next year again. But heading into the bye week, Clemson's banged up. They're really banged up. Outside of the guys that are out for the season, like Will Shipley and Will Taylor and Brian Bresee and Tyler Davis, who's going to be out for most of the season, Clemson's just banged up all the way around. Tight end Braden Galloway left that game banged up the other night against Boston College. Tight end Davis Allen left that game. Justin Ross left that game. I mean, that's on top of the injuries they already had. I mean, it's just like a mass unit over there right now. That's one of the biggest things that keys to this bye week is getting some of those guys healthy. The guys that are done for the season, nothing you can do there. And going into the Boston College game, I had a little bit of concern about both of those starting defensive tackles being out. But, those guys played Trey Williams, Ruka Rojo, Justin Foster. Even Etnosa Rubin played some the other night. Those guys stepped up. They played well. I think Boston College averaged less than 1.5 yards per carry. That's not too bad considering both of your starting defensive tackles were out. I figured Venables was going to make that quarterback beat them through the air. And he had some guys open, and like DJ, he missed on some throws. If he hits those throws, this might be a different ball game. But he missed on some throws too, and because this was definitely Clemson's worst game from a pass defense standpoint. There was some open targets out there that he missed, no doubt about it.
Yeah, everybody's picking up injuries at this point, 5 weeks into the season. But the guys that you just mentioned that are, especially the list of guys that are out for the season, my goodness, that's like a 4 or 5 star, recruiting rankings list right there. Guys that we've been expecting to be big time players for a long, long time. And some of them have already stepped up and shown who they can be. Bresee, of course, and Tyler Davis. My goodness, Will Shipley. That's a lot of talent to have on the shelf and done for the season. No question about that.
Yeah. Clemson during this run, this 6-year run, making the playoff and all that, they've been, pretty fortunate on the injury front. They've avoided the injury bug for the most part. The team hasn't been ravaged by injuries in any of those seasons. Of course, there's been some here and there, but nothing devastating. And that's kind of started to turn last year and this year. Everything cyclical is turning around and it's coming back on them now. It's catching up with them a little bit.